Everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. How's it going? Welcome, everybody. Goose, George, Logan, Rob, Huru, Francois, Cheater, Indy, Rex, Wade, Craig, Nikki, Don. Normal East Tennessee names. If you don't have a normal East Tennessee name, I'm sorry. Pronunciation of non-native names is not my strong suit. But welcome, everybody. Welcome. And there you go. We have 30 minutes of awesome. CPI tomorrow. Then we are still right smack dab at the resistance. Bunch of chopping around today. Kind of a strong close. GME closing above 50. That was above the 618. Watch out. That could be crazy. It was crazy before. Could it be crazier now? It very well could. And we'll talk about it. 30 minutes of awesome. Welcome. We will do 30 minutes of your request, but hold off on doing the request until I get there. I don't want to lose it in the chat. I will give you instructions when we get there. But, with all that said, CPI coming in right there tomorrow. We came in with PPI hot today. We got some a little bit of spicy in the market today. All kind of sprinkled through. Just sprinkle, dingle, all through the market. Then this ought to be interesting tomorrow. Usually we do CPI first and then PPI. But PPI came in, I don't know. Were they warning that was the hot number and then this is going to be hotter? I don't know. Is that like the prelude or you got me? Like, I don't know. Got me. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure it's going to come in spicy. Yeah, this one came in pretty spicy. Definitely a lot spicier than we thought we were going to have. Forecasting a 0.2, got a 0.5. Forecasting a 0.3, got a 0.5. I don't know, man. And then what's the reaction? Like, that's the big thing, a lot of people think that, with inflation coming in hot, everybody's saying, inflation's bad for the market. It's going to make it crash. The raising rates, they're going to have to raise rates to control inflation. That's bad for the market. Well, this guy, I've been saying that we're going to keep raising rates. Then all over the place, the narrative is like, we're going to cut 6 times. We're going to cut sometimes. The market, the Fed can't raise rates anymore. I've been sitting here saying for a while that the market was still in a position where inflation was still going to go higher and we were still going to have to raise rates. And, well, that's what it still looks like. So all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. Just because I said it before, just because I predicted it before, doesn't mean I'll ever get it right again. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument out there. All right, no stocks, no options, no bonds, no forex, no futures, no cryptos, no treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them. If you desire personal financial advice, you need somebody to tell you what to do. That's not me. All right, I can't tell you what to do. You can't even say, hey, JT, I got this position. What should I do with it? I don't know. If you don't like it, close it. And if you like it, keep it going. If you got into it and you've been proven wrong, like your assumption when you got in has been proven wrong, get the frick out. All right. Don't stay wrong. Cost you money. Like being wrong, costs you a little money. Maybe it's not really, the thing that costs you the big money. The big money is staying wrong in the face that you were proven wrong. Don't stay wrong in the markets. All right. That's my general advice to everybody out there. Don't stay wrong. If the market proves you wrong, don't stay wrong. Don't double down. Like, that's really dumb. All right. A lot of people are like, hey, JT, how do we salvage this XYZ option trade? I'm like, I don't salvage them. Like, if it's done, it's done. Like, I don't tend to try to salvage them. All right. That's just adding to a bad situation and staying wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Don't stay wrong. All right. I tend to put max risk on a position when I buy it, whether it's shares or whether it's options, whatever it is. And I don't tend to leverage up when I'm proven that I'm wrong. So don't stay wrong. It's my soapbox moment for the afternoon, I guess. Alrighty, welcome everybody. Jump over to this side and let's get into it. Pitter patter, let's get at her. Let's talk about some trades and the market conditions here today. The market did something interesting. Now, this morning I kind of said, well, we got the close on the S&P above the line here back on Thursday. The 786 level. We got that close up there. And I've been kind of cautiously bullish ever since we did that. And we had Friday, a little sketchy. Monday, a little sketchy. Today started out really rocky, but still pushing higher. We're still cautiously biased bullish. I mean, it just is. And it doesn't matter how crazy it seems like things are. Nasdaq kind of biased bullish too for a potential push on higher. And Russell is the one that gives me a question mark. Like this one, still below that 786, still consolidating right in here, pushing a little higher today, but not really doing anything crazy. And it can still roll over. So definitely cautious here. And Kimberly is here, my favorite subscriber. My lovely wife, Kimberly. Glad to see you in the chat. My dear. Oh, I hate that. My favorite? Anyway, ES has a little different story cooking. Although we did finally look at all these days, pushing higher, back tested that zone that we broke out from, and then pushing higher for the close up here. It's kind of all set for pushing higher at this point. We could push up there quickly. It could happen all on CPI tomorrow. We could do a spike and a drop. I don't know. All right. I'm just giving the odds. We have finally pushed up and set the stage. Now, could it still fail? Yeah, it can still fail. It's just, 70-ish% likely we're going to push on higher at this point. So there's still that 30% of the time that this thing wrecks the pattern and goes lower. But odds are tilted at this point that we're probably going to push on to a new high, new all-time high. That's not that far away at this point, but, that's what we got. That's the position we're in. Now, am I super nervous about it right now? You betcha. You betcha bottom dollar I am. I mean, we came up shy of the roadmap line on the S&P, on the Nasdaq. We tagged it on the Russell. We tagged it right down in there. And not really pushing up out of the zone, not getting a higher high than here. It's a little bit conflicting in the markets. All right. We've got why am I looking at ES? That's S&P 500 futures. We get the overnight action. I'm looking at futures because it trades almost 24/7. We're only closed from 5 to 6, which is right now Eastern time. The market will reopen here probably before I'm done. It seems to do that every time. I almost always go longer than 6 o'clock. And I pay attention to the futures. Now, the futures I watch, ES, which is S&P 500, because that's the broad swath of the economy. It's like 500 companies across all kind of walks of life. And it's medium and large cap companies. Now, Nasdaq, I pay attention to it because it's the biggest companies. It's the 100 biggest companies, basically. And they're tech focused, and they've been some of the strongest players for the last lot of years, basically all my trading life. And then we have Russell, which is a small caps. That's the smaller companies, and they tend to be fast movers in the market. They can make decisions faster, and they tend to be kind of a bellwether and indicate how the economy's doing. But this is not indicating the economy's doing so well. When we made the all-time high back here in November, before the S&P topped out, before Nasdaq topped out, we made this high back here, and it has been nothing but down, really. We made this much lower high here in March. Currently, we're sitting down here. We're not at the same story at all that we have on S&P, which is looking like we're going to go push to a new all-time high. We're not anywhere near the Nasdaq either. That looks like we're going to push to a new all-time high. So we have a diverging story in the markets. Now, one of the things that I've been paying attention to, I've kind of paid attention to and looked at lately, is the fact that we have a large discrepancy between the performance of S&P 500 and the performance of Dow here. And if we want to look at the futures for Dow, right here, YM. Why is it YM? I don't know. It's YM1 exclamation point. I don't usually look at it because, well, it's kind of a crap index. But at this point, it's not been outperforming. Not nearly to the extent like ES. If we actually overlap ES, you can see what I'm talking about. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, load. There we go. Look at this discrepancy here, especially off the lows back here. Let's look at the, well, let's go to COVID. That's the COVID right there. Look at COVID. Look at the discrepancy right there between these performances. ES way outperforming. If we go to NQ, it's even crazier. But right now, if Dow is supposed to represent the economy, you know, we were kind of coupled up back here at the lows in 2022. Zoom her up a little bit. See if we can get this back to, there we go. Roughly. Now look at that. Look at that outperformance off that low right there in the market. 46% versus 35%. You know, the last time we saw this big a discrepancy between the performance of Dow, it's really only happened like 3 times where it's gotten this great of a discrepancy in the last 100 years. One of those, the Great Depression. Another one, the late 70s into 1980. And the final one, the final time it happened, besides right now, the dot-com bust. So 2 of those were pretty horrible events for the market. When we go look at when we go back and look at ES, actually, let's just go look at S&P right here, all-time history. No, that one, I need all-time history. All-time history. Let's see, one of these things is not like the others. There we go. We look at this all-time history. Let's come back. Let's just jump up to a weekly. We roll back here. Look at the year 2000. Right here. Look how much time we spent. The last time this setup occurred in the market. See how long we spent doing nothing? Talking about from right here, this high, to right there. That was like 13 years, right? 13 years of sideways choppy garbage. Now we've gone on a heck of an extension since then, and we're kind of setting up the same conditions in the market that we had back here. Same conditions we had right in here. We're setting that up here. Now, that could result in a much larger, possibly 25-year, 30-year correction in the market where we just go sideways and chop. I mean, we'll have bearish periods, and then we'll have some seemingly bullish periods, and then we'll have extremely bearish periods, and then we'll have seemingly bullish periods again before we go on the next next expansion. So I'm just warning that maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it could be cooking here in the charts. I'm just warning, all right? Just throwing it out there. There's something to ruin. And it could take us all the way back down to like 1,500 on the S&P. And this could be possibly on the 2030s. We could, spend the next this long doing that. Possibly even doing that. We came up that fast. We could go down that fast. So be careful. A pandemic was just a correction. Didn't really. I mean, look at that. Look at the ridiculousness blow off of that. So just pointing out what's in the charts. All All right. It's up to you to decide what to do with the information. I'm going to keep coming back for more every day. I'll keep updating. CL, man, talk about some volatility today. Popping and dropping the last few days, just static right there, consolidating between the resistance and the support, just consolidating. It is likely to pop out of here one of these days, up or down. That's the question. Resistance above us, support down below us. Which way are we going? Which way are we going? I give credence to potentially popping up, rallying up here. We had a surprise draw on the crude report late today. Wasn't enough to snap it out of the nosedive, but we did get a little late afternoon rally, a little bit, just a little bit on the surprise crude draw. We'll see what happens here. See what happens. And so far, lower highs. I don't know. Yeah, EVs flawed. You know, if everybody's buying an EV, why did Tesla just put them on practically 0% financing for the Model Y? If you haven't seen that yet, Tesla.com. Look at that. 0.99% APR. Guess they aren't selling so good. And then Ford has their Mustang on 0% financing. So gotta keep them moving, I guess. Gotta have incentives to keep them moving. Brent here, significantly higher at 82, and looking like we might get a little pop out. Pop and go. All right. Now, don't confuse long-term trends with the short-term sales things either. Like that's it's a flaw. Like if you're trading for the days, like the prices of things have nothing to do with each other. So, RB, gasoline, taking a little reprieve, getting a little retrace. After that strong move up, we would expect that. Low here, the high here. Probably find support right in this zone, right around here. If it gets below that zone, it may go on an extension. Could go down here. That'd be really good for trying to get Biden reelected. If we bounce off this zone and go higher, maybe not so good for getting somebody reelected. Could go well on up into the 340 a gallon, possibly even 370 a gallon zone. And that would be wholesale prices, not the pump prices. All right. She's making French onion soup. I made some pepper beef over the weekend and sliced it up. And we're going to have panini style pepper beef sandwiches with French onion soup. There's heating oil, there's diesel prices, and they are pushing on lower, it looks like. So even though oil holding up a little bit, diesel prices seem to be pushing a little bit lower, probably 230. Alrighty. NG, natural gas, has rallied back up. You say, oh, well, it's all the EV demand. Well, maybe, maybe not. We are potentially rallying back up to fill that gap. Right there's the resistance. Got to get above that to go higher. At this point, there's a lot of resistance above us. And this looks a lot like that high, that low. Yeah, still resistance right up into that zone. We could just get continuation lower right there. Alrighty. GC, gold. This has been an interesting day on gold. It was chopping, it was dropping, it was popping. And closing right there. You have to go up a time frame. We've got this move right here, and we're holding at the 618 right there. We had this retrace from that low to that high. Oh, put it right on it. Pull you back over where you were. And look, we did a retrace right to the 50% right there. Not quite to the 618. So if we turn down from here, we can expect a drop down to here at the minimum, if not lower, on down to here. So that's something to watch on gold. That'll probably happen, possibly shape up before the morning. We may either be popping up or dropping. That should clarify itself before the open tomorrow. As you can see over here, we did the initial move up and a retrace right down in between the 50 and 618, then an extension on higher, but that's only a 3-wave so far. This overlapped this, which is not good for continuation higher. So this is either really muddy with this overlapping that, or we're probably going to do this. So there you go. That's the long and the short of it. If it goes higher, we'll probably get a deep retrace and be back down here in a few days anyway. That's kind of the way this is shaping up. When we do a overlappy diagonally thing, whenever it runs out of steam up here, we'll probably do a deep retrace. Silver, on the other hand, has a bit different game going on. A little bit different game. And I would really like to see this finish breaking on out higher. Zoom on up, zoom on up. Closing above the 618 level, but still right at the resistance zone. Like I drew that orange box in that kind of spot for a reason. And I really wanted to see it close up at the top of the range. That's like twin towers, opposite colors, kind of odd. If we can get any kind of continuation higher in the next couple of days, we'll probably push on out 31, possibly 32, possibly 35, the ultimate target up here for now. Then we'll probably do a bigger consolidation before we can get the energy to go on higher on silver. Copper, coming up next, right here. Making a nice show of it today. Nice show. Failed to break out higher though. Came right up to the line. Didn't step across, closed a little lower, right up to it, and stopped. Interesting. Now this one could actually make a higher high and still be set up for a bearish move. This is indicative, though, that the economy may do an expansion for a little while here. Copper demand is an indicator that everything's kind of going okay. When we look at the bigger picture on copper, well, we haven't been making higher highs. So this is at odds with the small caps. Can we push this higher? Can we get the confirmation we're going to go even higher? Time will tell here. Now if that was the whole correction, that was an incomplete correction, and this has been like a 3-wave up, a 3-wave down, and sloppy up off that low right there. So nothing's clear on copper. That's why I haven't really talked about it a ton as far as being a bellwether for the economy, because it really looks like it's a corrective whole big 1, 2, 3, and just getting a little overexcited and could push on up into the $5 area, possibly even make a higher high and still go down and make a lower low than what we had back here in June of 22. So be careful, be careful, be careful. Nothing's clear on copper. Oh, cocoa finally broke. Look at that. Finally coming back to earth a little bit. Still got a long way to go back to the historical $2,000 to $3,000 a ton, but long way down from 11,000 already. And that's looking like a classic bubble type pattern, and it may go fairly quickly. We could be back down here by the mid to late summer. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. And coffee, yeah, went on a spike and coming back down pretty quickly. The other coffee, it's like two coffee futures. I'm not exactly sure the differences. This one only shows up on the weekly, I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, so really in the middle there. I heard it was going on a spike, but I guess that was a couple weeks back. So. Now, interesting to me the other industrial metals like palladium, usually running with copper, is in the bargain basement here. Not moving at all. And platinum has suddenly started taking a move, but still way low compared to the highs back here in 2021. Way low. Started making a move up, but still not looking very sparky yet. All right, so mixed results in the market. Like palladium and platinum usually running higher with copper, but right now copper kind of leaving both of those behind, so indicates more of a trade thing going on than a actual demand thing going on. So be careful. Things can be bubbly in the markets. Speaking of bubbly, look at this baby. Look at this baby go. Holy guacamole. Post market 52. That's really strong. Really, really strong. Looking for this to potentially go on a rip. All right. This was a higher low, much higher low. This guy right here. Then this back over here. Look at, see that low? Like this low was way down here. This one was up here. We did a nice retrace. Go from that low to that high. Nice deep retrace. Looked like it was going lower. And we'll have to put it on the log mode. Is that log mode? No. On log mode. That's what I need. That's what I need. There we go. There, held the 50% retrace right there. And look at this. We go from this high to this low, breaking above the 618, like that low, deeper than this low right here. Just barely, just barely. Now, what kind of targets could this have? This is crazy, okay? Like, no doubt about it. But crazy can get crazier. Look at that, 250, possibly like 600. Holy guacamole. That's some nutty numbers, right? Absolute nutty numbers. And look at this. If we go, if that was the low back there, that move up, that retrace, we talking 159, 300, 1300. Yeah, that was some crazy potential numbers in there. I'm still holding 12 shares from the last time we did some crazy stuff back here. I just been sitting on it. Well, it was only like 3 shares. Now it's 12 after the 4-for-1 split. So just sitting on them. If we get this crazy pop, I'll probably sell out up here. So there you go. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I've been holding them for a while. Just sit on it. So those of you that thought I wasn't playing it, I've got some from back here and just been sitting on them for a while. We'll see what happens. 150, 300, 600. I don't know. All possible. It's, with the 4-for-1 split, the all-time high is only here at like 120. So watch for the extension. Watch for the extension. So traditional roadmap line pattern, which I'm not saying this is or isn't, but that bounce, that close above this 50 area right there, 46 actually, can take us right up to 245. And let's be conservative, 200. All right. Set an alert right there. I mean, I'll probably be out if we pop that high. Be pretty crazy right there. Pretty crazy. All right. AMC on the other hand, this one not nearly as bullish. All right. This is actually kind of bearish and pretty much a dumpster fire with the reverse split in here. See, GME had a regular split. This one had a reverse split, which actually multiplies the all-time high to some ridiculous numbers like 400 or 350 up here, and maybe even higher back before. Like this is more like a dumpster fire than it is. This is more like what we saw on Bed Bath & Beyond before it went out of business right there. So definitely be careful. All right. This is not necessarily, these are not the droids you're looking for right here. That one's much more dangerous. And, another crazy one that was going a little nuts here today. Plug. Although this one closed right on the lows of the day. Look at that big red candle all day long. All day long right there. Just sell, 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 sell. Found resistance at the resistance, the gap down resistance. Found sellers. And they sold it all day long. So there's been some resurgence in meme stocks. All right, so the time for request is now, and the rules for the request. 1 per person. Please type in capitals. If you're going to request a crypto, something such as BTC USD, I need you to give me the USD part so I know it's a crypto right there, so I can look it up. And if you're going to ask a question, please give me the whole question. Don't see like you didn't answer my question. What question? I've got a lot of people throwing stuff at me. Please just give me the whole question. All right. Please type in capitals. 1 per person. Let somebody else go. Preferably 2 people go before you throw another one at me. All right. Stuff under $10. Don't request it, please. Stuff is complete dumpster fires. Please, let's try to look for some good stuff. All right. And stuff that 4 things don't really follow my patterns. Biotechs, stuff under $10, China stuff, and leverage stuff. All right. Leverage 3x long or short, 2x long or short. Doesn't always follow the patterns. So like BitX, there's no point in looking at that. We can just look at Bitcoin. All right. So there you go. All right. Shopify. First one I see is on the way down. Going down in a blaze of glory. And it's down below that support, so probably coming down to this support down here. That's the zone we're headed for, more than likely. Right there for Shopify. JPM. JPM. Come on. Load. There we go. And yeah, so that's potential bounce and next target up, way up there. Way up there. Intermediate targets 207, 215. And the bigger target, Confluence, up here at 240 for JPM. TTD has support down below. And I would venture to guess that was going to retrace once again, showing a very strong resistance to going higher. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts. Probably kind of indicating that there's some major resistance there. And we may retrace it again. Seems to be having a lot of trouble getting through that zone. And that, funny enough, that was the resistance from before. Look at that. Resistance over here, resistance over here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. That's a major resistance right there. So, and this move up, that retrace, this move up, this retrace overlapped this right there. That's not bullish continuation type price action. I would be very, very alert on something breaking down below 80. That can lead to a lower low than what we saw right down here at this like quadruple bottom thing down here. Maybe like, no way that goes down 50%. Well, that's what's in the chart. Be careful. And IBM, I'll take it, even though. And we're below the roadmap line. Watch out for a deeper retrace. That's what I gotta say there. We can be headed down. Let's see. Let's just clear this off. Spent a lot of time consulting. A pop. That's like 1, 2, 3. Do we have a bigger pattern? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That can go down here. Maybe like, no way. Yes way. Now, There's your target, either 258 or 78. And the nature of this right here kind of looks like we might do that. And Apple, yeah, put my fingers on the right keys. AAPL, I'm actually long Apple, so full disclosure. Full disclosure. I may be biased. All right, come on. Daggone, man, this thing's being slow. So we closed above the 618. This is I think it was a 3-day. Let's see, 3-day right there. Yep, 3-day bounce. That's what I thought it was. So it's a little bit bigger picture, bigger time frame bounce. This moved down, found support right at the roadmap line, moving up through the 618. This can rally on up. 210, first target, 220, next target. And let's just look at this. 83% of the time we've set this up, it tends to go for the extension. So really the 205 would probably be the target right there. Be conservative. Usually takes 47 times 3 to do from the entry to the target. You'd be like, what? 47 times 3? That's 47 bars, number of bars in the trade. This is a 3-day chart, so each bar is 3 days. So we go down and grab the calculator. 3 days times 47 equals 141 days. So on average, this is taking 141 days in the history of Apple to go from here up to here. That could be somewhere, and that's bars, not, that's 47 bars. So 47 bars would be right about 41, 42, 43, 45, 46, 47, right there. 47 bars, 206 days, 206 calendar days. So this could take a little while, is what that's saying. Now, it could be on the low end of the average and go faster, or it could mess around and take it that long. There you go. That's what we got. Handy dandy tool down there. All right. Moving on. Lois is just sitting at the high. Has resistance up there, a little higher. Did this little pullback here. That's going to be a 4-hour probably. Yep, 4-hour bounce. Potential to go to 80, maybe 82 above that. Let's see what the statistics are. 90% of the time. So had the buy back here. Usually takes 42 4-hour bars. 42 4-hour bars. We've already got the entry. 42 4-hour bars. We'll put it right up. The average time to get there will be right about there. There you go. Could it take longer? Yeah, it could take 3 to 5 times longer. I mean, you know, it can always take a lot longer. And that's just an average of 33 trades. So there you go. Alrighty, moving on. NU. Jump back up to the daily chart. Oh man, so slow. And find a resistance, and find a resistance, and may go on a bigger retrace. If we can get above that, we could go higher. If we do the retrace, we load it up to potentially go much higher. Right now, the extension would just be a nominal higher high, like 14. This is a low price stuff, so it may not follow patterns. And that's QQQ. We already did Nasdaq, so same situation. Probably going to get the extension. You may be like, well, JT, you covered NQ, and I don't understand how to convert between NQ and QQQ. Just take these prices right here and divide by 41. It's likely to go on up to 19.2 roughly. Divided by 41. 19.2. You'd be like NQ divided by 41. Right there. That right there. So divided by 41, like 467. And we go look at QQQ. You're like, well, looks a lot the same and a little bit less. So just off a little bit. 459. Same pattern. And clear it up for you. That high, that low, right there. 460, 459, 460. Be conservative on the targets. There you go. KNTK. I am not pulling a symbol. There he goes. Wow. What is going on? What the heck is going on? That's choppiness. That high, that low. Potential to go to 41, possibly 42. That's all we got. Not much up. And we got the major resistance right there. Every time it's gotten up there, big sharp down. Up, big sharp down. No reason to expect anything different. And SMR. Golly, man. This thing is definitely lagging today. We got the roadmap bounce potential. Close just below. Oh, I already had it on there. And undo. Closing just below the trigger point. This is low priced, under 10 bucks. So you've got the long 14 and the short down to 1, maybe 2. That's it. Spotify. Come on. Holy man. All right. This is getting ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous. Hold on a second. This is driving me crazy. I'm going to have to. Let's see. Let me just kill this second. Make sure I save it first. Save. And kill the task. And be right back with you. Hold on one second. Just a minute. Let me reload that. It's getting way too slow. There we go. That's nice and snappy. And share the screen again. So Spotify is sitting right here. We're at that major top, trying to poke through. 1, 2, 3. Little attempts right here. If we can get through, going on higher. If we don't get through, probably coming back to support at the roadmap line right here. So if we can get through the extensions up here, 600. Pretty wild, but yeah, somewhere up there. That's what we got. Support at 230. Target like 570, 600, somewhere up there. All right. And let's see. I hit the scroller and lost where I was. Awesome. There it is. CAVA. Kava group just keeps pushing higher. It's going to retrace at some point. Is it now? Is it later? I don't have much roadmap line, so I can't really tell a lot. Highly likely to do a retrace. We just pushed higher off of this. And that retrace right there. Holding at 80. The support is down here at 53. So not a lot of, it takes a lot of energy to go higher. Not a lot of energy to drop. At least for now. And JWN. There we go. Much more responsive. Had to kill the browser for a minute. And target 23. CROX. Crux. Has a lot of resistance right there breaking out. that prior high. If we can do it, 172 would be the next upside target. Easy peasy. UVXY, not looking at it, sorry. It's a piece of junk. It's a declining asset. UVXY, UVXY. There's no reason to even talk about it. It's going to 0. Going on down. Just reverse split again. 1 for 5 and probably going down. Backwardation. Contango. On VIX causes that to go to 0. Much better one to play. SVXY. Look at that. Right up to the target. Right up to the target. Should have held longer. Booked my profit anyway. I'm happy with what I did. CMG. MG is going to split out here in June. That just keeps going higher. After it splits, it'll probably do a big retrace. Just ridiculous. There's no targets. Like, there's no way to do any targets off this. It's just cruising on higher, maybe 36, maybe 42. That's all we got right now. 4 is stuck in the middle here. So this dip right here overlapped that over there, which makes it really nasty. Unless this is nesting up to go higher, which these are not very constructive moves up. This is highly likely to experience a big drop at some point that takes us down here. Makes a lower low at some point over in here. It can keep being wild and crazy and mess around over here and then finally drop out. That's what that one looks like. Eventually it'll do. UNH. Look at that. Breaking above. So it invalidated the bearish case right now. Breaking above the downtrend of highs. It's the initial sign that that was finally done. Now, see, this has that exact same kind of pattern. Look at this. See how that did that? And then it did this lower low. That low right there. Lower than this low over here. That's exactly what I was looking for. Probably going to happen on 4. Same kind of price action right there. See that right there? Very similar to what UNH has, just different timeline. That right there, very similar to what 4 had. And then this dropped down, made a lower low. Now breaking above, indicating that this whole thing, from wherever the high was down to the low here, could be setting us up for a break higher. Since that's above the 618, that's above the downtrend of highs, it's looking likely that we may experience a rally up into this 585 area right here on UNH. Right there, to a new all-time high. Inium. It's at short-term resistance here. We did the expansion, did a retrace, did the next expansion. Doesn't put us very super much higher. There. 45, 46 on the upside for now. $45, $46. That's what I would. Right in there is where I'd venture. We're going to have some resistance and do another one of these pullbacks. We've done one right there. We did one right there. We did one kind of right there. All very similar size. So we may do another pullback from right there. Put us right back where we are right now after we get that rally. That would be what I expect on Inium for now. And funny enough, that comes in right there at that resistance. Yep, that's what I would expect. That's the short term. Big picture, I mean, we're talking years long pattern. This has potential to be cruising on up here. 100, 120, 160, 200. Crazy numbers. take it off log scale. Back to somewhat normal, more normal numbers, 100, 120. But that's potentially going to get, you know, take 27, 28, 29, 30, maybe. Could take a while. All right. That's NEM. Uber. So you got to have your time frame in mind. Long-term bullish on NEM, but, you know, I've got options out to 26 at this point. Uber could potentially bounce, sit on the roadmap line. Until it does, there's no trade. A move up through a daily close up above 75, 76, right in this zone. Sets it up for 87, possibly 93. Not getting above that indicates we're probably going to go lower. And with the move up that it did, was one heck of a move up and extension. We could see a significant retrace. I could come down into this zone right down in here, which is not far away, but it could cruise on down possibly around 54 before it finds support and turns up. And it could come all the way down into the 40s. Right there on Uber. All right. FAS is another big term, big pattern that didn't bounce on the daily. Came up shy. Extension 118, possibly 125, right there in the near term. That'd be a 4-hour bounce. Yep, 4-hour bounce. And remember, this is a leverage instrument. Leverage does not always follow the patterns. Right there. Leverage, be careful. And this is only shown 61% of the time to go higher. And it has a negative profit factor, so the losses are bigger than the gains on the pattern. Right there. Be careful. It's not one to chase after on the short term, right there. And Amazon, get a little bit of choppiness in here. I have one share, two shares, one. Oh, I either have one or two shares. Can't remember. And my target is like 194. That market roadmap bounce right there. Looking for that to finish up right up there. I consider these like zones, so I have a conservative target on here. 196 would be the actual target, but I'm thinking that we're probably going to come up just a little bit shy, maybe. Now it could just blast on through, like we've seen some other big tech do. That next extension be up here at around 200, right up there. But I'm looking for that right there. I bought right back here on earnings day. Looking for that move right up there. Next up, MSFT. Potentially bounced off of the... That was so close. So close on the daily, but we didn't touch. And we stopped at the 618. So this is a cautionary... While this does count as a daily close above, we're below that high right there. And that can still lead us to retracing and making a lower low than we had right here. So this is a very muddy pattern at this point. And it won't have kicked off the daily entry, even with the close, because it never touched the roadmap line back here. That is a requirement to set up the trade, is that we actually touch in the roadmap line. That didn't happen. So it's not a daily setup at this point. And if we do go higher, 440 area would be the target. 450 above that. Cyborg, CRBG, Core Bridge Financial. Looks like Cerberg. And just chopping higher. Choppy. Could get another retrace a little deeper. It's kind of been in an accelerating channel. You can see it's kind of arcing. Kind of like this. Whoop. Let's see if I can draw it very closely here. And Control C, Control V. And right like that. Yeah, arcing channel. That can lead to it continuing on the path. Right up like that. Eventually it'll go exponential and come back down pretty hard. There you go. Already did Kava. You can rewind. Tesla, still bearish until proven otherwise. Got down to the 50. That was where I needed it to go. Till we break above this, though, still potential bearishness in here. Still in the potential consolidation. I sold my leverage long right back here and just sitting on it right now. I have 5 shares, just sitting on them. They're break even. I paid $1.80 for them, I guess it was. 5 shares at 180. So just sitting on them. Sitting and smiling wave, boys. Smiling wave. Resistance up here, support down here, and we're just stuck in the middle. And actually secondary, well, primary support right here at the 165 area. Kind of looking for that to actually hit, and I may reload the leverage longs. And if we dip back down even deeper, we may make a lower low at this point. We bounced right off the roadmap line. So that leaves the potential to extend to 122 right there on Tesla. TGLS. I mean, like several of these I have open for a long time. Like I'm not even paying attention to these. I bought this down here at 26, 20, 29, 30. I don't know. Let's see. Let me zoom up a little bit. Holly. I bought that on 11/6. So 11/6 was that day right there. That day right there. So I paid somewhere around $29 for it. Maybe 30. $29, $30. And this is a measured bounce. So I'm holding for the potential to rally to 77, possibly up to 100. Can't make any money on, I hear this all the time. You can't make money trading shares. Well, I'm up like almost double on those shares right there. I was up double right there and retraced a little bit, but that's what you have to wait through to get the big money. And maybe a 5xer on shares. And CEIX. Where's the entry? There is no entry now. Like you're way late on that one. CEIX. Just chopping. That looks really bad. I have to say, that looks really bad. Consolidating under the roadmap line. Well, it kind of did that before it went on a run. It's going to have to break above to get that move higher. 100 is kind of the line in the sand. 123, 136, if it's going to do that. And just doesn't look great to me at all. And let's see, CRM, Salesforce. Right back down to the roadmap line. Oh, it touched that. So this is in play. Move up through 298. Can set that up for 330, possibly 348. And for a while, I've held 350 as the target based on the bigger pullback that was back here. That bigger extension right from this high to this low. 360, 350, 360, 428. There. And there's the market back open. Next up, coin. Talked about this morning. I talk about this all the time. We're just looking for it to drop back to the roadmap line. Resistance up here where it topped and support down here at 180, 175, 180. Just waiting for that to drop for me. HOLX, HOLX. There we go. That's kind of in the box. There's no reason to. I wouldn't trade this. That's just. I see no opportunity there till this proves it's going to do something else. It's stuck in this $25 consolidation that has been in for 4 years, 4 years. Yeah. It's probably not going anywhere. stock at rest is going to remain at rest. So Avalanche, AVAX, USD. Probably going lower. It's already shown resistance, lower high. Probably going on the extension, 27, possibly 23. MSFT, already did. FCEL. Yeah. Next lower, 48 cents. Right there. And Meta. Potential to go higher. We can get clear the 618 line right there at 489, possibly heading to 563. There you go. And PayPal has the potential to have a roadmap bounce right there. Got to break above 67 to get to 72. If we break down below the roadmap line, actually below the prior low right here, we're probably going down further. I still hold out a downside target that we came up short of down here at 42 area. I feel like one day we are likely to go reach it. This looks very corrective to me, and we may go tag it now or in the next few months. There's PayPal for you. And Adobe. ADBE is looking more bearish. Probably going to do a retrace. Even further down. Support sitting down here. Right there. Kind of scraping that, not showing strength, not getting a strong reversal off that, so probably going to push on lower for Adobe. And BKTT is complete garbage, probably going down to $2, if not on down the toilet. The toilet. Absolute dumpster fire right there. Big 1 for 25 reverse split. Absolute dumpster fire. Don't touch it. You're just going to burn your money. BRT. And right up at the targets. Next line in the sand up about 111, maybe 120. And the support is right here. Support and resistance. And it's sitting at resistance, so it may... I could take a trip down. It's been a long time since I visited the daily roadmap line. Over a year. How long did they stay up? That's a good question. UPS is bearish and gonna hang in this channel, in this zone right around 150 for the foreseeable future. Probably. UTU has a target up here at 80. MMM has its target up here at 103, possibly, and then it's got a resistance up to 108. We're kind of topped out back here, and the sellers came in and sold the crap out of it. So there you go. PNC Financial, potential roadmap bounce, 167-ish, 165, 167, 174 above that. And FL, Foot Locker. Dun, dun, dun. Support here. And roadmap line is resistance. There's your resistance. And this has a potential. If we get an entry, you can take a potential entry above the roadmap line. Conservative entry up above here, above 31. Conservative target 40. 47 my actual target. And danger zone, which we may go break down. If we break down below that, around 19, there's your target at 9. So that one's I've got that one very much labeled up right there. So that is a dangerous chart right there. SCCO, Southern Copper, yeah, just pushing higher. 129, next target up. UCO is back at the roadmap line. Imagine that. Retrace right to the roadmap line. Holding in here. We get back above 34, 38, 40. Next upside targets. And that was, 39 was a target before. Back in November. 42, 44, 48. All these still in play. Still in play. Can we get the bounce? And this is a leveraged oil, so you should use oil, not UCO. USD, JPY. Right up to the 1618. Right up there. Retrace back down to the 100. That can be all it needs to extend out higher. Got to get above the 618 right there at 157, 162, 165, possibly higher. But the very real possibility is that we bounce off of the 618 and retrace to the roadmap line. This is the line to watch right there, right at 157. If we don't clear it, can drop back down to 150. Right there, PLAY. If we can bounce back above the 62, head up to 76, 75, 76. And GME already did it. And GCT. Support right there. Resistance. 50, 57. Support down here. Around 25. And AMC already did. It's not going anywhere. Howdy, GLD already kind of did. Gold, if it's going to break out, it's going to go higher. If not, we could come down here to the roadmap line at 200. Already did GC, which is much more reliable to chart. There's your target, and there's your support down here. And we're kind of stuck in between. Like, are we going to break out? We're going to break down on the tighter time frame here. So just, you can kind of divide by 10 and round down just a little bit to get to GLD. If we can break above, we're going on up, probably 2,500. If we don't, if we break down, we're probably coming on down, make an extension, at least down to 2,250, if not on down to 2,150. And RX. Sounds like a biotech. It is a biotech, a piece of garbage biotech, $10. Absolute crap. Why would you want to trade that? Absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. GNRC. Another piece of garbage. High price garbage, but piece of garbage chart. Not necessarily garbage company, just a piece of garbage chart. Like, this is very nasty price action here, holding below the resistance and highly likely to go make a lower low again. Not very constructive on the move up off the low till we get out of this funk. Like, can clearly make a lower low again. Very clearly. That's what it's telling me. And I'm holding TGLS forever, or for 100 anyway. Package PKG, that high, that low, break above the 184, possibly going up to 197. Mara is working on a nested pattern with the potential to break out to, if we get above 26, going up to 43, and just consolidating on the roadmap line, just sitting here, just consolidating. One of these days, it'll likely pop because it's got the wind up. Like, it made the move up, retrace, move up, retrace. That's a nested bullish pattern off of this low right there from December of 22. Highly likely we're going to see prices higher than what we saw over here. SCHW. Resistance at 79. Possibly up to 94. We can get continuation higher. Got resistance right there. Then possibly 113 above that. And PLTR. If we break below the roadmap line, watch out for the deeper retrace. That's what it needs to do to go higher. It needs to reach down in the 16 area. If it can do it, it can go much higher. Much, much higher. See, this is the crazy thing. If we can do that deeper retrace, it sets it up to possibly go up to 100. That's why I've got all these alerts down here. If we don't do the deeper retrace, we'll just make a nominal higher high. 29, maybe 30. Then probably do more choppy stuff. Oh, that last one I removed was, yeah, that one. I really want to see it get that 16 right there. Right where the arrow was drawn. That's what I want to see. Come on now. Gosh darn it. Delete. There we go. That move, that move, that move. Yep. That's where I want to see it. Right down in that zone. Right there. I'll be probably be a buyer if we get that kind of move on PLTR. RTX. Right up to 107. Had a long-term target on 120 up here. Sit right at that long-term high. We get the extension. May go even higher than, yeah, 120. Still the same. Right there. And AMD has just been farting around. Farting around. Not doing anything. That's not the kind of price action you want to see before it goes blasting off higher. It's kind of what it looks like it might do before it flushes on lower. This was a big move up right here, and that would retrace that and correct it, and then we can go higher again. All right, it is garbage at this point. Looks like it's going to go lower low, $7. Be my expectation. It bounced right off the roadmap line. Didn't even try to get through really. And once up here, once right here. It's the kind of stuff it does before it goes extensions lower. So, and ORCL potential bounce off the roadmap line. 125 possibly gets us up to 138, 135, 138. And good afternoon, Cliff. And that's the list. There you go. If I said anything you like, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and I'm gonna do something else. Thanks for coming. I'll be back live first thing in the morning. Make sure you're subscribed, and don't stay wrong. All right. I did my best to give you a high level, quick analysis on every ticker. Doesn't have to do my patterns. That's the patterns I use. So have a great day, everybody. I'll